Hello guys, you alright? Explain this to me guys, because I'm struggling. It might be explainable, so I'm wanting your help on this please. We have one video.
Nazi Germany's longing for world domination did not start with the genocide of 6 million Jews. Organized killing of the German population was ordered at the start of the war in 1939. The Nazis set about killing those with physical and mental disabilities, of whom they regarded as a burden on the state and a threat to the nation's racial hygiene. About 170,000 people were killed under this so-called euthanasia program, dubbed T4. As early into August, the Nazi regime turned its sights to all the malformed children to be registered. In the years that followed, around 5,000 children were transferred to a special children's department and murdered. The culmination of deaths carried out by the Third Reich in all its horrific barbarism is as follows. Jews 6 million, Soviet civilians 7 million, Soviet prisoners of war 3 million, non-Jewish civilians 1.8 million, Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian civilians 312,000, people with disabilities 250,000, Roma Gypsies 220,000, Jehovah's Witnesses 1,900, repeat criminal offenders 70,000, German political opponents, no exact figures, homosexuals, hundreds, possibly thousands. These figures are just a sample of the atrocities the Third Reich carried out under Hitler's regime.
We have two channels, one being Red Pill Phil, the other one being Tony Bugle's channel. My channel has just over 20,000 subscribers. Tony Bugle's channel has 1,072 subscribers last time I checked. One video uploaded first on Tony Bugle's channel. The video went to explain extremism on all sides, which could be argued is part of a cycle that's about to reoccur, over the years been reoccurring. Very powerful video, very well produced by a chap called Jason. One video, two channels.
The Turkish Ottoman Empire killed 3,500,000 to over 4,300,000 Armenians, Greeks, Nestorians and other Christians. The Ottoman forces in the First World War exceeded over 1 million soldiers that gave rise to the Taliban and the ISIS death squads we face today in the 21st century. In total, more than 1,200 people outside of Iraq and Syria have been killed in attacks inspired or coordinated by the Islamic State. The Taliban statistics are far less, but still a loss of life for British forces. There has been a total of 456 fatalities of British forces, personnel including the Ministry of Defence civilians, in the Taliban stronghold of the Helmand province. ISIS and the Taliban, although defeated in many countries, still pose a major threat worldwide, even to this day.
The view count on Tony's being that she's only got 1,072 subscribers, you can imagine would be a lot lower than on Red Pill Phil's channel, which is just over 20,000 subscribers, and the actual numbers did correlate. The video has been on both channels for the best part of a week. They've both had various comments from various points of view from people who comment. The other day, Tony gets in touch with me to let me know YouTube has been in touch with Tony via a channel, about a channel, telling Tony the video, not in our country, is to be taken down. It is to be taken down under hate speech. Not only will it be taken down, but then The consequences will be a community strike. This is what it says. No, not in my country. Reason, violation of YouTube's policy on hate speech. Says then after that, learn more, acknowledged on July the 11th. Now, apparently, this expires on October the 18th. Now, whether that means she's eligible to put it back up or no appeal is going to be seen or dealt with till at least October, I'm not quite sure what that means. Hate speech. That video didn't profess any hate speech. It professed extremities on three sides. Nazi, far right, you could argue, in this country.
1967 Britain saw the rise of the neo-Nazi, the white nationalist organisation, the National Front, who politicised the racist agenda mid-1970s. It was the brainchild of Arthur Kenneth Chesterton, a white South African born of Johannesburg, a journalist and a war veteran. His abhorrent hatred of the native population and minorities in later years was his driving force and, of course, his legacy.
Middle Eastern, as in the Ottoman Empire leading all the way up to what is considered to be now ISIS. For me and Jason and Tony and the rest of the guys that supported that video, there was a few different elements within that video that got a slapping. It wasn't demonising anyone. It was trying to prove that there's a cycle that's about to re-emerge. The strange thing is, I look on my channel, the video is still up there. There's not any strike. I don't even think there's a copyright content. There may be a copyright content because of the music that may have been used, but I'm not sure whether that's the case for that video. Normally, because I use my own musical files, the odd time I will get a copyright content, which is not a strike. It's just enabling them to put adverts on that said video. If that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. At least they're still allowing the tune to be played on the video. Facebook won't even do that. If I try to upload the same video on Facebook, Facebook will mute the distance in time that piece of music's on. So you can imagine if I'm talking over music, it's killed the video. So I now can't have music on Facebook videos. That's, so at least YouTube do allow that, albeit they do this. Now, with me, I'm not monetized. To what I understand, I don't think Tony Bugle is monetized. I'm almost certain she's not monetized. That can't be the angle, I don't think. Could it have been a complaint? Maybe it could have been a complaint, but it doesn't state that it comes from a complaint. It states that it's violated YouTube's policy on hate speech. If Tony's violated that speech, this is where I need the explanation. I violated the exact same policy, surely. I think I've violated it probably more, because it is fair to say that my video, which was the same video as Tony's, has got more views on my channel than it has on Tony's channel.
The National Front reached the height of its electoral support during the mid-1970s, when it was briefly the UK's fourth largest party. We would have thought that Britain's brief acquaintance with the neo-Nazi organisation would be short-lived, as Britain's part in defeating the true Nazis in the First and Second World War should have put paid to that. But alas, that was not the case. After Chesterton's leave, the National Front was taken over by John Hutchins Tyndall. That gave way to the British National Party, the BNP. Both so-called political parties are still active and pushing their racist agenda, even to this day.
Only for the simple fact that I've got more subscribers on Facebook. Tony has way more subscribers than me. So it is not a pissing contest. It's just, that's the fact. So that's what perplexes me, really, that you could argue my offence, if there's any violation, I have probably violated it more so.
The revolution will not be televised, nor spoken about when it comes to the British, Pakistani, Bangladeshi Muslim community. The preaching of hatred against the kuffar has never been more widespread in mainland Britain as it is today. This hatred of those that hosted your welcome in the 1960s is a far cry from the first generations of peaceful Muslims. We now see Islamic extremism in many a guise, be it through hate preachers, Ajem Chowdhury, Abu Halima, Abu Hamza al-Mazari, or the barbaric terror attacks of the 7/7 bombings, or the beheading of Lee Rigby, the Westminster Bridge knife attacks, Manchester Arena bombing, and the ever-increasing industrial scale of rape of predominantly white underage girls. These Pakistani Bangladeshi Muslim grooming gangs have been Britain's dirty little secret, hidden for decades.
Have I got a force field around me? Am I trying to see something that's not here? Does that look like Tony may have been discriminated against on the basis of her colour? So what I'm going to do, Tony and I in the next few days, we're going to be holding a stream and we're going to talk about this, because as we stand now, the video is still on my channel. No, not in our country. The titling was literally copied and pasted from Tony's script to my script. So the videos are identical, the mirror. There's nothing changed. I didn't change any bit of wording because it was going on my channel, because the way we both felt is that if that video is seen, it has to be seen with one kind of message, not different messages on different channels.
We now have the rise of the Muslim Defence League, with the militant tactics mirroring that of the hardline National Front and EDL. This new wave of young Muslims who have shown their true colours whilst violently attacking innocent bystanders, including women and children, under the banner of thwarting racism. With, of course, racism. Two wrongs do not make a right. These actions will only ever lead and end in more senseless violence on the streets of Britain. There are no winners in a race war, just casualties of humanity. As humanity are one race, and it's a war that cannot be won.
I just took it off, I copied and pasted all her statements, put it onto mine. Boom. And I'm still up there. You can consider it all you want yourself, guys. Right now, I feel like this channel has almost got some kind of force field. Now, the strange thing is, I can't say that for sure that this is happening. There's something very strange why, if there's been a violation made over there, I'm violating. So if it was an algorithmic thing, then why is it not picked up on mine? Why is it only picked up on Tony's? Where Tony's has had lesser views. So algorithmically, Tony should be behind me in terms of picking it up, because my view count is higher. So it's very, very strange indeed. Very strange. We'll see where it ends up, guys. You know, we'll see. Maybe there might be a plausible explanation for it. But in some ways, I think YouTube were probably trying to protect people like me. I don't need protection. People can protect themselves. And particularly of a video that does not have any form of hate speech in it, that is over proportionate. And it's even more over proportionate when you're stopping someone who's got white skin but uploading it, but yet the one with the black skin, go for it.
Not in my country.
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 So I can see it. I can see it. Although there are people that don't consider me English, so I can see that as well. We've got fundamental issues. I can see both sides. I can see why people, if they get treated like Tony, day in, day out, you might end up having that hatred, that deep-seated animosity towards someone of a different colour.
We stand here in 2019 with division beating in the heart of a great nation, racism coursing through its veins. The dream of a diverse, multicultural society hangs in the balance, like a tarnished dream of cohesion. It's brought to the fore through the lack of understanding, compassion, man to man, woman to woman, of all colours. Cultural communication is the primary building block of unification. Unless these bridges are built and discussions had, urban battle lines will be drawn and a tirade of hatred will ensue, leaving a stain on a civilized society forever. No matter the race, the blood of humanity knows no hate. It flows red the world over. break the silence.
So it's understandable, whilst at the same time you've got a black population that may feel differently. So it is adhering to everyone on here, but at the same time it's having the common sense to say, well, if you're going to delete a video, if you're going to give someone a community strike, you've got to be indiscriminate.
Humanity is not defined by race, as hatred is not defined by colour. Not in my country.
Humanity is not defined by race, just as hatred is not defined by colour. Not in my country.
Humanity is not defined by race, as hatred is not defined by colour. Not in my country.
Humanity is not defined by race, as hatred is not defined by colour. Not in my country.
Humanity is not defined by race, as hatred is not defined by colour. Not in my country.
This does not appear to be that, but I might be wrong. We've got to be objective, haven't we? So this is Red Pill Phil, Tony Bugle's channel, YouTube. Have a look for yourself, see what you think. To me, I don't see any violation of hate speech. I see a violation, alright, but it's committed by YouTube. Love you all, even the pissing haters.